On April 13, 1912, the Titanic was still celebrated as the greatest ship ever built. Inside its steel walls, life moved calmly, almost confidently. Passengers strolled along polished decks. Stewards prepared evening service. The engines beat steadily beneath their feet. No alarms, no panic, no sign that, in less than 24 hours, this floating city would no longer exist. This is not the story of the sinking. This is the story of the day before. If you're drawn to documentaries that explore history through real human experience, subscribe to Think Smart Media. The Titanic was not just a ship, it was a moving society. At over 880 feet long, it carried more than 2,200 people from different nations, languages, and social classes. First-class passengers lived in luxury that rivaled Europe's finest hotels. Third-class passengers carried dreams of new lives in America. Each group existed in the same structure, but in very different worlds, and on April 13th, that world felt stable. In first class, the day passed pleasantly. Passengers like John Jacob Astor and Molly Brown enjoyed long breakfasts, card games, and walks on deck. The ship's interior's grand staircases, electric lighting, heated swimming pools reinforced a belief shared by many on board. This ship was modern. The ship was safe. Ice warnings had been received, but they were routine for North Atlantic crossings. To most passengers, the ocean felt controlled, almost tamed by technology. Below decks, life was quieter, but no less important. Second-class passengers read, wrote letters, and gathered in modest lounges. Third-class families cooked simple meals in the general room, their faces filled with a mix of hope and weariness. Children played with makeshift toys on the floor, their laughter echoing in the crowded but lively space. They sang folk songs from their homelands and shared stories of what awaited them in America. For many immigrants, this was the final day of uncertainty before opportunity. No one spoke of disaster. There was nothing to suggest one was coming. The crew followed routine. Engineers monitored the boilers, stewards prepared cabins. Wireless operators worked tirelessly, sending passenger messages, often delaying ice warnings because personal telegrams took priority. Captain Edward Smith, nearing retirement, maintained speed. The sea was calm. Visibility was clear. From the bridge, the Atlantic looked peaceful. What passengers didn't understand was the limitation of their era. The Titanic was designed to survive damage but not multiple ruptures across several compartments. Lifeboats met legal requirements but not practical ones, and iceberg detection relied entirely on human sight. To the people on board, risk felt distant. Technology had worked before. Why would it fail now? This belief, confidence in systems without fully understanding their limits, was widespread in the early 20th century. As night fell on April 13th, music filled the lounges. Passengers dressed for dinner. Some stepped onto the deck to admire the stars. The sea was unusually calm, no waves breaking against ice. That silence would later prove deadly, but at the time, it felt serene. No one rushed to bed. No one sensed urgency. It was, by all appearances, a perfect crossing. The tragedy of the Titanic is not only how it sunk but how normal everything felt before it happened. History often focuses on moments of impact, but disasters are shaped long before alarms are raised. On April 13, 1912, the Titanic was not a warning, it was a promise, and that is what made the loss so profound. If you want more stories that explore history before it breaks, subscribe to Think Smart Media.